since the university was chartered by His Excellency, the President, on 7th October 2016. We also want to celebrate our esteemed customers, including our students, staff, suppliers, contractors, and all our stakeholders who have worked with us this journey of 5 years. This is also a time, ladies and gentlemen, to remind our internal and external customers of our commitment to meet and exceed their expectations. To our customers, University of Embu is where it is because of you. You are the very reason why University of Embu exists. We can't travel the journey ahead without you, and that's why this week we are celebrating you. Vice Chancellor, sir, allow me to say the following, that after the launch, we welcome all our internal and external customers to our one-stop service area to interact with the various services that we offer within the university. And we also additionally welcome our members of public to freely interact with the university while also taking the time to give us feedback that is going to improve the services that we render at the university. As I conclude, I wish to say that to say the following to our internal and external customers, that there is only one boss that we have, and it is you, our customers. And that's why we are celebrating you this week. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Chairman, Charter Anniversary Planning Committee, Dr. Mugo, for those comments. Our Vice Chancellor, our guest, Your Lordship, the Bishop, Dr. Samuel Nginyi, and the guests you have come with. In our African tradition and the tradition of the university, we do not celebrate without singing and dancing. So our students, as usual, talented, special, and highly motivated, will bring us a brief session of entertainment, beginning with the SDA choir. Please come and give us your song and be blessed. In the meantime, I can see Obed Nyakundi. You have written your registration number. You are saying you are following Nelson Muthomi. You are also following Dr. Joseph Kipyegon. Long live the University of Embu. God is great. Claire Virginia is also following. And as the SDA choir comes over, we are going to give some gifts to those who are following online. So please tell your friends to log in wherever they are. SDA choir, always ready to entertain us.
Alikuwa akipita kati ya Samaria na Galilaya. Katika kijiji kimoja alikutana na watu 10 wenye ukoma, wakasimama mbali, wakapaza sauti wakisema, ewe Yesu, Bwana mkubwa, turehemu. Walipokuwa njiani kwenda Yerusalemu, alikuwa akipita kati ya Samaria na Galilaya. kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye. Kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye. Kwamba kuhani Yesu akawaambia waukoma, waliamka wakienda, wote walitakaswa. Alipogundua kwamba amepona, alirudi akamshukuru Mungu. Yesu akajibu kauliza, hawakutakaswa 10, wameenda wapi? Akamwambia, nenda zako, imani imekuokoa. Endeni mjionyeshe kwa makuhani. Yesu akawaambia waukoma, waliamka wakienda, wote walitakaswa. Alipogundua kwamba amepona, alirudi akamshukuru Mungu. Yesu akajibu kauliza, hawakutakaswa 10, wameenda wapi? Akamwambia, nenda zako, imani imekuokoa. Nasi tukumbuke kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye. Nasi tukumbuke kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye. Nasi tukumbuke kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye. Nasi tukumbuke kumshukuru Mungu wetu, tusisahau anatutendea yote, imara kwa imani atatuweka, kama mlivyofundishwa mkizidi jua, shukurani kwa Mungu, wenye shina mtajengwa katika yeye.
Thank you very much, SDA, for that song. Reminds us of the 10 lepers who were healed, and only one came back to give thanks. And for us, University of Embu, we always remember to give thanks whenever we get blessings from our God. And that is why we are here, to give thanks and celebrate at the same time. Next is Cyrus Kero, an upcoming artist in the university. This is the second time he's performing his own shairi compositions. The first time he did during the graduation, and he did very well. He needs a mic. As you get him a mic, I can see Enoch Kibet says, long live University of Embu, such a nice institution to be in. Cyrus, it's your turn.
Hongera Embuni na Keru Cyrus. Furaha tele usoni, Embuni twashangilia, miaka 5 mfukoni, tangu hati kupokea, bendera yake Embuni, kama chuo kupepea. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Ni mengi twajivunia, kwa zako jema hatua, shule 6 amefungua, hata ile ya sheria, mafunzo unayotoa, masoko ya pigania. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Kila mwaka waongeza idadi ya wahitimu, sisemi unapunguza ya wanaofika humu. Jambo hili latangaza huduma zako muhimu. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Majumba yalopandana hujakoma kuongeza, matope unang'ang'ana kila kona kumaliza. Misaada wapeana kwa wote wasojiweza. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Unatenda kwa uwazi, kila mja atambua, kupeana zako kazi, mtandao watumia. Ukifanya uamuzi, USA unatumia. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Wateja unatambua, hata bila kubagua, ofisi za kuzatoa, maelezo na wazia, jitihada wafanyia, yeyote kutumikia. Hongera kwako Embuni, Kanani waelekea. Kwa wateja wa Embuni, wazazi na wanafunzi, mchango wenu jamani, Embuni tuna uenzi. Tulipo za makizani, mekuwa yetu kurunzi, twaahidi kuwaweka nyoyoni zetu daima. Wenyeji pia wageni, mazuri mewapangia, chaguo la namba 1 ni nyinyi kutumikia. Maswali yenu leteni, majibu tawapatia, twaahidi kuwaweka nyoyoni zetu daima. Asanteni.
Asante sana, Cyrus Keru. This guy, you tell him to compose a shairi anytime, he comes with one. This one I think he wrote last night. That's why he has not crammed this. He is talented. Yes, tumshangilie. Very good, Cyrus Keru. The next is another seasoned performer in the University of Embu, Elijah Otieno, with a short narrative. In the meantime, drama and film production, be ready for your final piece, which is a skit.
The magical bus. The bus left the station. The road was bumpy. Potholes. There was bushes. As the driver navigated and navigated behind, he had majestically fastened his seatbelt and announced to the passengers, "Tuko sawa, twende safari." 8 years, 9 years down the line, 2013 to 21, the bus cruised and cruised and cruised until we reached the tarmac road. When we were on the tarmac road, we noticed, when you looked, if you could look at the window, you saw a very familiar face, smiling and always accommodative. But then we, the passengers, always asked, who's that passenger? Who's that seated next to the driver? And one man told us, that is none other than Professor Yukaria Kenya. And the bus was fueled again, and as we went and went, we noticed one official stood and said, "You know, you passengers, if you do not take your academics seriously, you will not graduate." Who is that? That is none other than the greatest Professor Kiplangat Kotul. And the journey continued. As we swerved and swerved and swerved and went, we noticed the traffic police commandant, who actually stood and waved us to stop. Ah, munaenda wapi nyinyi watu? Na wewe ni nani? Awandi. Na huyu anakaa ni Profesa Daniel Mugendi, unamjua? Mimi namjua. Huyu anakuanga mzuri sana, ni rafiki yangu pale. Unaona tunapatanaga naye hapo fourth floor. He's a very good man. Ah. Then Professor asked the traffic commandant, there is no problem. You can continue and check the tires, even the vehicle. I can assure you everything is intact. And the traffic commandant told his junior, check on the vehicle. The tires, they were on check. The seats, on check. The gear, Professor Abu Kanyanga, hiyo mafuta kanyanga. Dun, dun. Na Professor, unajua ukanyanga gari, umewahi endesha safari gari? Because vile unaendesha hii gari, Professor, hii gari imeenda speed sana, 8 years alafu uko. When the vehicle was checked, it had completed all the requirement. And it was awarded by the Traffic Control Authority a certificate of being the best vehicle to have ever cruised the beautiful tarmac that is now on course. And the professor quickly swung into action. You know, my people, munajua nini? We have to make sure that we attain the vision 2030. And also the target, performance target of 10 years, which we must make sure that we attain all that we have set. And the vehicle started cruising, and as we were cruising, as we the passengers, every year we were alighting. Every year new passengers were coming. Every year we were alighting. Every year new passengers were coming. Along the way, I noticed that I found a new friend, Professor Washira, whom after this, I will actually look for him so that we have a very good cup of tea. You know, he likes tea, and I also like tea. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Elijah. That is also a very creative attempt at making the event happy and humorous. I hope I have not left out any entertainer, because there was a group, I was told it was still on the way. Did they come? YCS? YCS mara ya pili? YCS mara ya tatu. Now I'll move to the next session, but I will still read some of your comments. Brenda Chepkurui says that University of Embu, my university of choice, it's the best. I am proud to be here. Then there is another guy calling himself Maroon Cap. He says, this is very good for me as a student. I am a fourth year doing a degree in library and information science in the School of Education and Social Sciences. Thank you very much for such an awareness campaign, because it will help me get a job faster. Aya. Henry Kerore anasema, in fact, the sky is the lower lid. And then the last one is Anne Waroita, says, congratulations to the University of Embu. Keep your messages coming. And for those of you who are privileged to be sitting in this occasion, please feel very happy that you are representing about 10,000 members of the university community. So your seat there is actually worth so much, because this is an occasion we could not invite everyone, but we have managed to get you to represent each one of us. I call upon the student rep, Mr. Enoch Gweth. Enoch, or the vice chair, to come and take 1 minute to pass a message of congratulations to the university for this occasion.
The Vice Chancellor, the DVC ARE, the DVC PAF, registrars present, deans of schools, chairman of departments, members of staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Tracy Kawira Kaburu, and on behalf of the University of Embu Student Association, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to the University on its 5th charter anniversary. We are delighted to be here to celebrate this milestone. The change you've driven, the effectiveness of your mission is truly impressive. Congratulations to the university leadership for the 5 years of hard-earned and worthy success, starting from the University Council, members of management, the Vice Chancellor, DVC, registrars, deans of schools, chairman of departments, members of staff, and the student leaders, for all the work you do, all the insights that you provide, the sweat, the time, and attention you give to all the projects that have made this university the best state corporation, and also offering quality education for the student community. We extend a special thanks to the many stakeholders who have been part of the university process for many years, and we hope that the following years will be impactful as the past 5 years. Once again, happy 5th charter anniversary, happy Customer Service Week. God bless Kenya, God bless the University of Embu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Kawira, the Vice Chair of the Students Association, for being very brief and to the point. Thank you. Next is the Director, Performance, Contracting and ISO, Dr. Kireman Karata, to just say why it is important to focus on our customers and why focusing on our customers has helped us along this journey of success and excellence. Dr. Kirema.
So thank you very much, Mr. Maore, the VC, the Bishop Samuel, Bishop Samuel, the DVCs, registrars, members of the university management, members of the university senate, my colleague, members of staff, students, our esteemed customers, good morning. So as it has been mentioned or indicated in the program, mine is very brief, is basically to mention something about customer focus, and allow me to start by defining the term customer. And basically a customer is an individual or an organization that is seeking for a service or a product from you, and for this case, from us, the University of Embu. And for us as a university, mainly we offer services. And therefore, when we talk about customer focus, it means putting these particular individuals and organizations' needs first, such that customer focus is the orientation of the organization towards serving and meeting its customers' needs. And as I think it was mentioned by the chair of the planning committee, these days we don't only talk about meeting our customers' needs, but we also talk about even exceeding those particular customers' needs and expectations so that we are able to give them an experience they can live to remember. And I think from the comments that Mr. Maore has read, it is evident that we are working towards that, we are achieving it, but we have to keep going. And therefore, customer focus is important in building customer relations that are particularly humane, so that the customers are able to remember the service that they are given, and they are able to refer other customers to us. And remember, as we are talking of customer focus, when we have unsatisfied customers, they also do the same. They mentioned to about 16 others how dissatisfied they are with the services that are given. And therefore, it is important to give the customers a very good experience that they can be able to refer to the others. As far as University of Embu is concerned, we have that commitment at the very top through our University of Embu quality management policy, which speaks to our commitment to our customers. And allow me to read part of it, which says that the University of Embu is committed to providing high quality training, research, and extension services efficiently and effectively, while consistently striving to meet and exceed the interested parties' expectations. In this particular case, we have used interested parties because there are other parties that are interested in whatever we are performing who are not necessarily directly referred to as customers. So in that commitment, we promise that in whatever we do, which is our core mandate of training, research, and extension, and any other services that we provide, that we shall always gear to meet and exceed the expectations of our interested parties. And we are always implementing that, and every time we audit to check as to whether we are geared towards that. Why is customer focus important? Simply, the importance of customer focus cannot be overemphasized. It is the major determinant of the success or failure of an organization. Therefore, when an organization is close to its customers, it is able to gain understanding of them. We are able to understand their needs. We are able to know what must be done in order to meet those particular needs. Equally, if an institution distances itself from its customers, then there is a higher likelihood that that institution will fail. And considering that the results indicate we are the best institution or state corporation, then it means that it's indicative that our customers' needs are close to us and we emphasize on them. Finally, let me mention a few tips that we still need to continue watching out in order to ensure that our focus is on our customers. One of them is that we have to keep our communications lines open to our customers all the time. Meaning, it's not something that we do only during the customer service week, but our telephone, our email, our offices are open to our customers to visit throughout so that they can be able to interact with us and get the services. We should also be willing to learn and assure our customers of our commitment to meeting their needs to their satisfaction. That is something that we do. We are listening to our customers throughout, and we commit to that. And then we should go beyond the core of duty, meaning that we should be able to provide service with a human face. And especially that now most of the institutions are going towards online services, which definitely does not provide that contact with our customers. That doesn't mean that we have locked our doors to listen to the customers so that we can offer our services with a smile. We can be able to listen to them. We can be able to explain to them wherever necessary. And finally, we always give room for feedback. We always give room for feedback, whether negative feedback or positive feedback. We encourage our customers to share with us their honest opinion on what they think about our services and how we treat them, and possibly even give suggestions on how we can be able to improve our relationship with that. That one is always done. We have compliment books. We have complaints mechanisms that are in place to ensure that our customers have an opportunity to do that. Thank you very much. I hope I have met the expectations of the requirements given. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kanata. We applaud you. I think you have met the expectations of the audience and the organizing committee. Dr. Mugo can confirm to you as you sit next to him. The next speaker is Professor Kiplagat Kotut, who is joining us here to speak briefly about looking back at the last 5 years since the award of charter. And Professor, as you come, there is a group called the Drama and Film Production, the students who have come. The students are actually doing their cuts currently, and it is such a favor that they can come to perform and celebrate with us and still go back and do their assignments and their cuts. Thank you very much. We still give you a chance to see what skit you have prepared at some point with the permission of the Vice Chancellor. Thank you, Prof. Kotut.
Thank you, Mr. Maore. Vice Chancellor, normally one of the things I enjoy in these events is the skit. So I would not feel fulfilled if you don't give us a chance to be entertained by the skit. So I trust that after the few things I'll share with you, you'll allow us to be entertained so that if I was boring, the people will forget the boring things that I shared with them and remember the skit. So let me start by acknowledging the Bishop, Dr. Nginyi, who is with us today as our guest. Let me also recognize the Vice Chancellor, University of Embu, who has not been with us for a day or two, so we are happy to see you again, VC. Members of the University of Embu management who are here this morning, the members of the University of Embu Senate, our student leaders who are also with us here, the members of the students who have found time to join us, our visitors, and more importantly, of course, all our customers. And as we have just heard, everybody is a customer or a potential customer of the person. So the person sitting next to you could be a customer of yours in a matter of time, and you can also be a customer. So I want to start by congratulating the University of Embu community on these two occasions, celebrating the Customer Week and also reflecting on the award of charter, the 5 great years, the completion of a cycle. It was actually Embu University College Council that I had been given the task of being the deputy principal in charge of academics, research, and extension. Because I believe that is when I joined the bus of the University of Embu. And of course, I was very excited as I came this way, because of course I had gotten a job, and of course we always don't say this, but I had quickly looked through the terms, and the digits looked fairly impressive. You know, I had been working as an academician for very many years, so I was seeing an opportunity that, of course, I would not have let pass. So I was very excited as I came in. I drove through the Embu town. That time, Embu town looked a little bit sleepy from my understanding of the towns that I had visited. So a little bit disappointing, but nevertheless, I passed through town. Then the first thing that came my way, or you call it a shock, was the gate that I was supposed to enter. A very rusty gate, huh? You know, I almost entered Kangaroo School because that was a better gate. So that's the gate that I entered a little bit reluctantly. Then we went in to the office, and I tell you, the place was actually looking like a rundown institution. Everything was in a state of disrepair. So I was wondering if I had gotten to the right place and where I was going to actually sit. Because I must tell you that I had a fairly comfortable office, except that the digits were not adding up, and that's why I made the journey. My office was fairly comfortable. I had a red carpet and many other things that go with the trappings of an office. So when I came here, things were a little bit slightly different. So I look around, I saw Professor Kenya, because I had known her from another world. I was trying to look at her to get a sign. Oh, am I really missing something here? Because the Vice Chancellor was up and about, the usual way you always see him, full of energy, moving fast. So I tried, maybe I can get something from Professor Kenya that I was not getting. In a nutshell, things were not that which we expected. Okay, so the office was the first shock. Then we came next to now, you know, we are working very hard in the course of the day, I'm seeing the day is getting old, it's getting late, it's getting to night. And so I'm wondering now, where is one going to spend the night here? So that was the next one, because I waited to see where the Vice Chancellor is spending the night, only to find that he's spending the night in a small place. Those of you who know Shimoni now, it wasn't like that. It was actually fairly large. Some of the rooms were more or less leaking, and there are very many things which were not working. The beds were actually very tiny. So, and since he was going in, I tried to see maybe Professor Kenya, maybe he's I thought as the VC he was leading by example. Take a more humble position, but make sure the deputies are more comfortable. That was not the case, because we all ended up in the same setup. So that was the story. Now, we start getting to do the work, because you see we are here on a mission. So the tools that were ready for us as the people who are supposed to be getting started. Of course, after overcoming the challenge with the office, because I was told, pick one of these offices. So I took a bit of time to look for the one which was in the best state at that particular time. I remember I changed the offices twice, or is it 3 times, trying to figure out which one was the most in the best state. There were enough offices. So finally I settled for one, and I got a computer, an old one at that. And the only documents that were available for me to get started with the job was a Universities Act, the University of Nairobi curriculum, and an admission list of 300 students who are waiting to join the university. That was all. Now we needed to make it a reality, and that is to make the place ready now to receive these students who were actually had been placed, I think, in 2012. So they were not very happy customers. I know Ganata said we need to make our customers happy. These were very unhappy customers. Their colleagues had gone to the university, and they are still waiting. Some would come to the office and cry their hearts out. Why was I chosen to join this university? Are you sure this is the university? Remember what I've told you? Even me, I'm shocked. I'm recovering, and here I am. I need to deal with clients who are equally feeling a little bit misplaced. So that is how our journey started. Of course, there was a legal notice which also indicated that we needed to be there in that status for 3 years. And to get to the next status, there were very many things. There were minimum requirements, which actually were provided for by the Universities Act. What kind of infrastructure we needed to put in place, the number of students, the number of programs, the land size, and of course, policies that have to be put in place to ensure that we actually meet the requirements. So that's where we started. We started, there was not a single policy, there was not a single document. The documents that I've just talked to you are the documents that were available for us. And of course, we were a very small group. We are, I guess, for the first time, we were the 3 of us, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Kenya, and me. So of course, the first thing we needed to do is to recruit staff, and of course, to develop policies. We needed the statutes for even the university, the college, and we had to start working on those ones. And that is how we started the journey. So from there, of course, we got a few members of staff. Otieno has captured it nicely. I just wish that maybe in my next life, I would be reciting for you what I've just told you in the form of a poem. My teachers never really gave me an opportunity to exercise my capacity to recite. So maybe in my next life, I'll try it. And if I'm I may even want to try Kero style of doing things. Kiswahili has never been one of my favorite subjects, but I hope that in my next life, I will try to master it so that I can come back and be the Kero of my next life. So as I said, as I conclude then, for me, we have come a very long way, and I want to conclude by saying that I'm really proud to be part of the history of this institution. I always tell people that in the history of an organization, there are three key areas which are remembered. The most important one is the beginning, because that will always be preserved very nicely in the annals of history. So I know in the history of the University of Embu, my name will always feature somewhere, and I'm very proud to be part of this history. I'm also very proud to be part of the definition of the culture that we now are proud of as an institution. And as I said, the culture that we have over time developed, thanks to the visionary leadership of the Vice Chancellor, is a culture of the kind of leadership that sometimes is described as, servant leadership, because I believe that is the culture. That is what defines us at the University of Embu, our capacity to offer servant leadership. And I know as we struggled to pacify the students who are not very happy that they had been kept away, we realized that if we are going to survive as an institution, then we need to develop a very strong culture of customer focus. And indeed, for us, we took it that our blue ocean as an institution is actually ensuring that you actually meet the requirements of the customer. And a customer does not require that you give them very expensive things. They do not mean that you buy them very expensive lunch. All they need is appreciation and to be treated as the most important a resource of the institution. And as I said, that is the direction that we have taken. And the rest, of course, is history, because I believe now we are very satisfied customers. So I want to say that from where we have come, we have done well, and I want to pray that God shall continue blessing us as an institution. So with those few remarks, please allow me now to invite Dr. Arunga to come and tell us the technical part of the journey in a few minutes so that we can move on with the program. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. I hope to continue being part of this history moving into the future. Thank you so much.
Good morning, our guest of honor, invited guests, members of university management, members of staff, members of University of Embu students, fraternity, and other stakeholders. I'm here to briefly give you the journey to Award of Charter. It took us almost 1 year to go through the Award of Charter process, because as stipulated in the Universities Act and elaborated in the university's regulations, university college status should be upgraded to a chartered university after around a period of 3 years. So following the establishment of the Embu University College in June 2016, we were supposed to start thinking about the journey to university, to become an accredited university within a period of 3 years as stipulated in the Act. So what happened is that when we got to about 2015, we were already 2 years into the process of Charter Award. So we had to think about how we should go about completing the whole procedure, because if we were not to be awarded the charter, there were some few consequences that would have followed. Either we were to be extended for another period of 3 years to put our house in order, or we were to be to become a campus of University of Nairobi. And actually, the last 2 points that I've made really affected me as an individual, because I kept on thinking, if we are not awarded this charter, definitely my job was at stake. Being the secretariat of the Directorate of Academic Quality Assurance Board of the University of Embu, one of my mandates was to advise the university on such matters. So the journey began, and we began the journey by ensuring that we sensitized all members of staff on internal quality assurance mechanisms and what is required for the award of charter and the journey as a whole. So we were sensitized by Professor Anne Nangulu from Commission for University Education, and then we hit the road. Towards the end of October, we received communication from Commission for University Education that we were supposed to submit a technical report. The technical report is what forms part of the recommendations that the Commission for University Education puts together and forwards to the Cabinet Secretary. Thereafter, the Cabinet Secretary will look at the documents and recommend the university for award of charter to the President. So we put together the document very fast. Within a month, a committee was formed. We were supported very well by university management, and we are really grateful for that. We developed a period that was tough for us because we had to conduct what was an internal self-assessment to gauge ourselves where we were at that time. So we did this internal self-assessment, and we were satisfied with most of the things, except very few things. Little did we know that there were some things that we had not achieved. And some of them look small, but they were really, influencing the whole process. So the commission came in February, they inspected the place and gave recommendations. And there was this one recommendation that to date, I usually feel that it was minor but very powerful because they required drinking taps for students, just a tap. So, I thought a tap is a very small thing. But they insisted because thereafter, every time we used to visit there with the documents, they used to ask me, and have you installed the taps? So I found it really interesting that even the minor or the smallest things that we forget about or we don't put a lot of emphasis in life can really affect some of these processes. After that technical inspection, we sat down again, we put our house in order. On 27th August again, the commission came and visited once more to be satisfied that we've taken measures as per their recommendations, and we had achieved most of the things. We had already put together and customized our programs. We had already had a draft charter. We had a draft statutes. So we thought we were ready. But the journey continued. We had quite a number of visits to the commission, lots of discussions and consultations with the commission. Then somewhere in the following year in 2016, sorry, the previous one was in 2015. So February 2016, the commissioners visited the university and they were satisfied that we were to be awarded charter. And on 7th October, we happily visited State House to receive our charter. And some of us thought that the journey is over. Members, today let me inform you that the journey is not over. We are celebrating 5 years of award of charter, and it is in law that the commission should review the performance of the institution after every 5 years. So we've already submitted the reports, self-assessment report for the institution for the last 5 years. When I look at the report, we've come from far. The number of programs have increased. The student population has increased. The facilities have really improved. And we are doing very well to maintain the status of an accredited university because, again, if the commission is not satisfied when they visit, they can revoke, which I don't anticipate or I'm not foreseeing. So with those few remarks, let me thank all members who are involved in the charter award process. Members of management provided us all facilities. I remember when I used to meet Professor Eukaria, she used to ask me, what else do you need? When is Q coming? What do you need? And I really used to feel like we were all engaged as an institution. Each one of us participated, including our students, and we had a successful charter award. With those few remarks, may God bless University of Embu, and may God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arunga. Are you also an alumni of Shimoni?
I came later, but I remember the free buffets. I came in April, so we used to eat for free. And I hope VC might think about that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arunga, for that journey towards the award of charter. And now we have Professor Eukeria Kenya, who is going to make some few remarks and invite the Vice Chancellor. The SCIT team, you remember your permission has been requested, so we are waiting for the approval. Oh, okay. Prof, you can say hi. And the VC says that before you talk and invite him, kindly accept the SCIT to perform. Yes, yes, yes. I think you can sit here because it's just a few minutes. So the SCIT, guys, you should be up and about doing your SCIT. Give them some mics very quickly. There's a guy here called Hyper Legs. He says that event is interesting, absorbing, riveting, gripping, compelling, spellbinding, enthralling, beguiling, engrossing, fascinating. I think he's a relative of Duncan Othwon, so I'm not surprised. So keep them coming. And as Dr. Arunga said, the Commission for University of Education is soon going to come to inspect the university. If you're logged in onto the YouTube channel right now, please tell us what percentage do you think the University of Embu will get this year? Because 5 years ago, we got 100% and got the charter. This year, 2021, what percentage do you think we shall get when the commission comes to inspect later this year? Do you think that we shall get the charter renewed or dissolved? And the one with the best mark and comment, there is a major present for them. So the committee, Dr. Mugo, please look out for good comments so that we can give the best comment and marks awarded a present. Karibuni sana, drama and film for your skit.
The building must be constructed according to the specifications. I'll make sure that it will be constructed according to the specifications required. Where Njuguna, what's going on here? Mbona mfanyi kazi? Nini naendelea huku? Do something.
Hey, Njuguna, epuka angalia hiyo kabila kama iko sawa.
What are you doing? Ebu tuonyeshe. Make sure lazima iko straight, ni sawa? Yeah, ebu do it.
Madam, siwache nikusaidie.
So we have to make sure that we construct this road perfectly because we are certified. Huh?
For the past 5 years, we have delivered as per excellence.
This is what I love about this company. It performs perfect provision.
And you know what?
This road must withstand all the weather. Whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, it must shine all the way. Wait, let your caterpillar pursue.
And because it has to be done perfectly, I have to take the accurate measurements.
So, madam, enda upande kwa ile excavator, ujaribu kuchimba mitaro as I try to work out the calculations and see how I'll connect the road and the building, okay?
Yes, madam.
So?
Madam Contractor,
mbona hii contract yako inakimbia haraka hivi?
Yes, because you have to meet the set target, you know. And also a strategic plan which will help us achieve our goals in the next 10 years.
Hapo sasa kwa strategy.
This is impressive. Good. This is outstanding and very much impressive.
Because we are always focused. The pillars are strong and standard to withstand the development as it grows.
We must make sure that the management stays on course to attain the strategic pillars and the set targets.
So, let me go and check the progress of the construction of the road, okay? So, how is the progress? Madam, the excavators are excavating.
And Madam, very soon we are going to be launching new roads.
And these are the roads that will spur our country to economic growth. And our clients must always get the best.
They are the reason we get out of bed each and every day.
We must have the best. And we shall continue giving the best. Madam Contractor, how is the progress? The pillars are very strong. We are going to achieve our milestone. You know, the pillars are also a sign of good management.
This is the award that you were given, eh?
Our award that we were given in 2016. Yes, the award that we were given by His Excellency the President. That made us a fully pledged construction company.
And it's a construction company that has lived to attain its desired expectation. With the new roads, the new courses that the university, that the construction company is rolling out each day and each night. The management is doing an outstanding job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that skit. Pleasure, as Professor Kotu said. It's your turn now to make remarks and invite the
Vice Chancellor, our guest, Right Reverend Bishop Dr. Samuel Nginyi. I hope I got that right. I wanted to put all the titles to show you how much we honor you today. My colleague DVCRE, Professor Kotut, members of university management, members of university senate, heads of sections and units, all members of staff, student leaders who are here, and indeed all our students, our very esteemed customers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am indeed very, very pleased to be with you today as we celebrate 5 years of excellence in performance and customer service. This we have had, the shocks we have had, as we began these great institutions were very, very well captured by Professor Kotud. I'm still laughing. And I remember, like he did indicate, he kept sort of looking at me and wondering, is there really something he's missing? Because he felt maybe but I think as a woman, I had bigger shock absorbers. But I could see he was rattled. I was rattled, but maybe I was able to hide mine better. It really, really has been a journey. And what he didn't tell you, that day at about 11:30 p.m. as we headed to Shimoni with our then principal, we were a few steps behind him. He had arrived at the campus a little earlier. He had already taken residence at Shimoni, and he was used to it. But now today we are following, and we kept wondering that there's this hotel we had that is called Panesic. Couldn't we just pretend we are going to these rooms, and when he is settled in, we sneak off? Those were serious thoughts. But of course, we felt at home. It was great company. We used to literally cook together. We had one cook and one caterer at the time. And I remember many dinners, I would actually go into the kitchen, what we improvised as a kitchen, which I believe is now the entomology lab. And indeed, we would eat together, we would serve food together. It really was beautiful at that beginning, challenging, but what stood out for me was the determination we had. This determination was solidified in each one of us. We were still very few, and we were everything to everyone. And we worked more like a family, and we had this terrific family head who knew everyone by name because we were few and catered literally to everyone's need. But we had this razor-sharp focus that we would turn this institution around. And that is why I am so proud to be able to stand in front of you today and celebrate with all of you. Like I said, it's joyous. And when I look back, actually I feel a lot of nostalgia, the way things used to be. The way we would work even till 1 p.m. in the offices and no one is tired. And we had this vision that was being carried by the then principal, and he wouldn't let you drop your guard. And you wouldn't want to drop your guard. It's a feeling that sometimes I wish we could get back. But I believe as you grow as an institution and you get more people on board, you get people who didn't experience the very beginnings that you did, some of that you begin to lose it. But it is something that has carried me up to today. And when I meet people, even in town, they tell me, there are a group of you who are so passionate about the university. What does the university do for you that is so special? Because they meet people in other universities, but they don't find the same passion that we do. It is that vision that we have carried through, and it's been really, really wonderful. And I wish that we will never let our guard down. As we celebrate 5 years, let's look forward to the next 5. And we'll promise Esther Arunga will continue to support her, even in making sure we have more of those drinking taps for students. Like she said, the small things that matter. And it is indeed these small things that have made us achieve such excellence as a university. So I want to congratulate all of us, encourage all of us to keep moving forward. We have something good going, and with God as our helper, we will get there and we will achieve even more and more as we move forward. So thank you, colleagues. As I end my very brief remarks, I would like then to invite the Vice Chancellor to come and give his speech and officially launch the Award of Charter and the Customer Service Week. Thank you.
Good afternoon. To me, it's always morning if I've not eaten lunch. So I'm being told that it's afternoon. I also want to say that I'm very excited at what is happening today. I do know when my two DVCs have talked, they have reminded me of the good old days. And indeed, some of the episodes and the journey that we passed through. I know the sleeping in Shimoni was, and it's not the Shimoni of today that we innovated. It was a Shimoni then. I know one time when it was raining, it started raining, I think it is Professor Kenya's room, started raining like outside. So she came to complain to me and told me, you know, I couldn't sleep last night because it was raining all over. I moved the bed like 20 times. So I told her, just go pick the next room. Maybe I wasn't very accommodative, but that is how it was. I think by and large, we had a lot of fun. And as Dr. Arunga has said, also cooking together, eating together, I think that was also something. Maybe we need to revisit those good days again. But as I have said, I don't want to repeat. It was a journey. And you see, the goodness is that we started from almost scratch. I was the first one to come, and then the DVCs came. I think Professor Kenya came slightly earlier than Professor Kotut. Members of staff who are here today, student leaders, fellow students, other guests that are here with us today, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am delighted to be in this gathering this afternoon, the University of Embu 5th Anniversary Week and the first Customer Service Week. As we commemorate 5 years since the award of our charter, I am filled with joy and the wonderful memories of the years of growth and the struggle that we have passed through to reach where we are today. Personally, I am bursting with pride and a true sense of accomplishment when I imagine the far we have come. This occasion could not have come at a better time than at this moment when the University of Embu is celebrating top-ranking status and recognition for delivering quality education programs designed to empower our students. The university is also enjoying enhanced reputation from being ranked the #1 best performing state corporation and educational institution in the public service performance evaluations for 2019-2020 financial year. The theme for this charter anniversary and the Customer Service Week is celebrating 5 years of excellence in performance and the customer service. I would like to extend my gratitude to all who have worked our internal and external stakeholders. I urge all our stakeholders to visit the university customer service desks set up at the administration block to access one-stop university services. I take this opportunity to appreciate the staff and the students for the work they have done over the years to uplift the name of the university and to make it a well-known center of academic excellence in performance and customer service. I look forward to our continued partnership in sustaining the university's ranking as a top university in Kenya, as well as maintaining our reputation as an institution that emphasizes on quality in training, research, and community service. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Embu was established as Embu University College, which was a constituent college of the University of Nairobi through legal notice number 65 of 17th June 2011 by the former President, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki. On 7th October 2016, the University College was awarded a charter by the current President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. The award of the charter then created the current University of Embu from previous Embu University College. So basically, 7th October, which is tomorrow, is the university's official birthday. So we are now 5 years old, which indeed is a good reason for us to celebrate. Since we got the charter in 2016, we have been busy building systems, developing infrastructure and facilities, building a reputation for the university amidst competition from a crowded higher education space. The journey has not been without its ups and downs, but by the grace of God, we have made it to the 5th anniversary despite the efforts of the COVID-19 global pandemic, which has ravaged our country and indeed the entire world. This arguably is the worst global pandemic
that the world has seen in a century. On our part, we have chosen to remain strong because we are encouraged by the belief that the university has been fortified by our past challenges, and we will for sure overcome all turbulence that we may face today and in future. As we continue with this journey of building a top-ranked university in this land and contributing to the county economy and a private university during its nascent years as a constituent college, it is through them that the University of Embu laid a strong foundation for building the current reputation that we enjoy. From the few staff who are here at the beginning, we are managing to build a large pool of competent and skilled manpower in various fields of specialization across the department that is keeping the university torch always lit and carried high at all times. In conclusion, I take this opportunity to sincerely thank the University of Embu Chancellor, Council, management, Senate, staff, students, and all our stakeholders for the selfless service that they have always given this university. Indeed, without you, we will not be where we are today as a university. I am confident that our commitment to the realization of the university's vision will enable us to emerge even more successful in the higher education sector despite the challenge of diminishing of funding from the Exchequer. I assure our customers and stakeholders that the University of Embu shall remain committed to continually providing the highest quality services and also keep up the dynamic and ever-changing needs of our customers. With those few remarks, it's now my pleasure to declare the University of Embu 5th anniversary and Customer Service Week officially opened. I wish all of you a happy anniversary and the Customer Service Week. Thank you, and may God bless you. Now, I also had a message from our Chair of Council, who was not able to be with us, but he has sent a short message that I want to read to you on his behalf. And this is from our Chair of Council, Dr. Kennedy Okongo, during the official launch of the Charter Anniversary Week and the Customer Service Week, today, Wednesday, 16th October, 2021. To the university community and all our customers and the stakeholders, good afternoon. We are here to commemorate the granting of a charter 5 years ago to a constituent college. Today, this has become a fully fledged university where knowledge transforms. I am delighted to join the University of Embu community in reflecting on how rapidly the years are passing by. It has been half a decade since that Friday morning on the 7th October 2016, when we were invited to State House, Nairobi, to receive the charter. It was truly exciting and elating moment. Undoubtedly, there have been challenging times along the road, but still, we have much to celebrate in the life of the university in the last couple of years. In 5 years, we have gone from being a dream to a globally recognized and top-ranked university in Kenya. We have grown from a small university college with just a few students to a learning community of about 10,000 students and staff. Our reputation continues to grow. Many students choose us as a place to learn. We have continued to attract quality talent, and many institutions want to partner and collaborate with us. In 5 years, we have brought multiple gains to the community around, not only as a generator and a repository of relevant knowledge, but also as a source of employment, a sociocultural powerhouse, and provider of skilled and credit-earned workers. Each one of us, either individually or collectively, has played a role in shaping this future. Each one of us, in a way or another, has sacrificed and contributed to get us where we are today. You still continue to do so, and the reason why we are We are and we will be here to celebrate more achievement. We are an oasis of possibilities. By many measures, 5 years is not a long time. I found myself thinking about what 5 years mean to the University of Embu and acknowledging the challenges of creating and sustaining such a diverse community. I must say that it is not the years that count. What counts is the mileage we have covered and the accomplishments we have recorded during that time. It has been truly remarkable journey. I am pleased to be associated with the University of Embu, and on behalf of the University Council, I send a warm message of congratulations to the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, management staff, and the entire university community for attaining this key milestone. Happy 5th anniversary to the University of Embu. On the occasion of the Customer Service Week, I would like to congratulate each and every person for the consistent and utmost dedication to service. This has enabled the university to be ranked as the top performing state corporation in Kenya. We have remained committed as a service provider that trains and innovates for the development of humanity. As a council, we extend a big thank you to all the staff, students, and all our stakeholders. We are a success story because of your effort and support. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. And Dr. Kennedy Okongo, Chairman of the University Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, for those remarks. Customer Service Week and the Charter Anniversary activities officially open. We're moving on to the next stage, which is Thanksgiving and dedication. But before we go there, I would like to ask the students not to leave because you shall be singing Happy Birthday to Embuni shortly, and also the former students. If you are a former student and current student, we shall be calling you to sing Happy Birthday, Embuni. Dr. Mugo, I hope you are getting the messages that the students are sending to you because they want the prize you promised them. Nyagara, Nyaberi, Wilfred says 100% is always our number. We have never missed it and we have never imagined it. Always determined for greater ranks as the world-class university where knowledge transforms. Wonderful message. Keep them coming. I can see many, but we don't have the time to read all of them. So I will invite Reverend Dr. Mary Curry to introduce our guests for today for the Thanksgiving and dedication. As Professor Kotut was talking, I remembered a story given by Professor Wachira during the Shimoni days with Mbuzi and Ogeto. I wish that they could have time to come and tell us, but next time. I think Professor Wachira knows the story of Shimoni days. Reverend Dr. Nkari, it is your time now to introduce and invite our guests.
Thank you. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Daniel Mugendi, our Deputy Vice Chancellors, the registrars, the management, the deans, directors, HODs, and our students. This afternoon, I have a humble duty to introduce our guest of honor. And on Thursday, the Registrar Vice Chancellor's office got in touch with me about this occasion, and she informed me that I would play the role of giving a message and doing the prayers of dedication. We got into a discussion and we came to an agreement that even the priest in the university needs to be prayed for and dedicated. And so we agreed that we cannot make our own cake and have it, and there was need to have a guest.
And we could not get a better religious person to be with us in this occasion than the one we have today. And therefore, we have Bishop Dr. Nginyi with us. Bishop Dr. Samuel Nginyi was born on 26th December 1961. He did his KCPE in 1978, KCSE in 1982. He has a diploma in church leadership, a Bachelor of Arts in Bible theology, and then a Doctor of Philosophy in church leadership. He is currently the Bishop of the Redeemed Gospel Church, Mount Kenya South Region, and in charge of 125 churches within Embu and Kirinyaga counties. He is also the chairman of Interfaith Council Embu chapter. And Bishop, we are also an interfaith community. We have all faiths represented here. We have the Protestants, we have the Catholics, the Muslims, and the SDAs. And humbly, Bishop, welcome, and preach to us and also pray for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend, the Vice Chancellor, and your team. I want to appreciate the invitation and the good leadership through your able leadership in this great institution of ours in our county, Embu County, the land of opportunity. We feel proud of what you are doing together with your team, and we really appreciate. May God bless you, protect you, and even give you more years to serve Embu community and this institution. Before I bring the word of God, I want to say a few words. Then I'll preach and then pray. We are celebrating 5 years. But I came to understand this institution started 74 years ago. And from what we have heard from various speakers, this institution started from a very humble beginning. And now we are where we are. We can surely say this is Ebenezer. The Lord has taken us through to this great day. I know as we celebrate anniversaries, it is the time of reflection, stock taking of what has transpired previously, and even setting goals to the next level in our life. So I want to say that I appreciate even the vision that this institution has for our good government, and especially in our county, Embu, because actually this institution has changed the face of our town, and I believe very soon this town will become a city through the good vision that Embu University has for this good county of ours. I would like to request the government of Kenya. I would want to appeal to them, because actually agriculture is the backbone of our country. And I would request all other universities to emulate and do as what Embu University is doing, to train on agriculture, because after doing this, we shall have solved the problem of food shortage in our land, Kenya. Again, I would want to appeal to the government, again, when they are engaging people in various positions, let them not forget the young generation. We have many graduates who are graduating every year, and if we want to encourage them is by giving them job to do. And especially this job will only be given if at all other institutions will emulate what Embu University is doing, and especially in training and on agriculture. I want to share with you, and I came to remind us that we are just being given an opportunity to do what we are doing. So I want to share with you very briefly about life opportunity. And I want us to draw our message from the book of Matthew, chapter 14. We are going to read very few lines, and then we are going to be blessed. Over 2,000 years ago, our Lord and our Savior Jesus Christ, and to give this story, chapter 14, verses 6, the Bible records, promised with an oath to give her whatever she asked. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the hand of John the Baptist." The king was distressed, but because of his oath and his dinner guests, he ordered that a request be granted. And had John been ended in the prison, his head was brought in a platter and given to the girl who carried it to the mother. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you for giving us an opportunity to reflect on your word. May you, Lord, bless each one of us through this word and through me, in Jesus' name. I have said that celebration or anniversaries is the time to reflect on what has transpired, whether good or bad. Celebrations must be done. And I want to say this happened over 2,000 years ago, when one king by the name Elode decided to usher his guests and the countrymen at large to come and celebrate his birthday. Many people were invited, and as it is the custom and tradition, in every celebration, there must be an entertainment. We have seen it happen this morning. And when the entertainment were done, one lady, one girl, was an exception because she really made the king to feel that she has performed. The MC has been saying that whoever is going to give a good report will get a reward. And this prompted the king to promise under oath that she would want to do something to this young girl. I am saying that we have an opportunity. Even living today, getting seated where we are seated, having been given responsibility by our good government to do whatever we are doing. To the student, having been seated there taking what it ought to be taken by you through your lecturers and by the provision that has been given to you by your parent. It is an opportunity because not many, not everybody who was in class together with you is in university. I want to say this lady, when he was given an opportunity to become whatever she would want to become, because she was not mature enough to make her own decision, she made the wrong decision. And I want to say we are growing and we are becoming mature day after the day. The way we behaved 5 years ago, it is not the way we are behaving today. I came to remind each one of us that an opportunity has been given to us. And let us make use of this opportunity wherever we are, whoever we are, because one time God will ask each one of us, what did you do with the opportunity that I gave unto you? The Herodias' daughter was given an opportunity to become. And I believe as I speak to us this afternoon, each one of us, we have an opportunity to become anything and anybody in this good republic of ours. Because an opportunity is given and an opportunity to be living today, to have life. When many have gone through COVID-19, we need to thank God for this opportunity. And I want to say whatever you are doing, in any office, in any capacity, it is an opportunity. And I want to say this opportunity is just like a debt to each one of us, because one time we shall be required to give an account of what we have done. To the leadership, I thank God that we are doing what it takes to bring this institution to a point of being recognized in the whole republic. And I believe we have what it takes that the Embu University can become something in the whole world, because we have what it takes. It is just an opportunity given to us. As we take the stock of taking of what we have done and what we shall do tomorrow, may God help each one of us to know what we want to become will only happen if we do what we ought to do. I like what the politicians do sometimes. They lead by the opinion of people. That's why they ask, what do people say at the ground? And sometimes unasikianga wakisema, ground ni tofauti. Unasemanga ground ni. It is always good as we celebrate the Customers Week today. You know, our customers are our bosses, because without them we can do nothing. I have said the politicians want to know what do people say at the grassroots. They want to know, they read by the opinion. And I believe that's why even our Savior Jesus Christ, one day, I was thinking that Jesus, he printed some politics, tricks and tactics. He was able, in the book of Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 15, to go to his customers, who are his disciples and the community of his time. He asked the disciples, what do people say that I am? Because he wanted to know, for him to serve them, he wanted to know what the service he would render to people. He wanted to know, am I doing the right thing? And one of the apostles or disciples said, some people say, you are this way, because you are behaving like this. You are talking like Jeremiah, who was the old prophet. You are doing this and this. Then he asked them, what of you? What do you say that I am? I believe this week, when we are celebrating the Customers Week, we need to inquire from our customers what is lacking in our skills, in our area, what they would want us to do to them. If Jesus, our Savior who had everything, wanted to know what people says that he is, he decided to use the politician's method of wanting to know. That's why I say Jesus did politics, because he would have not asked that question. Because he had what it takes, even to know the mind of people, but he decided specifically, what do people say that I am? What do people say that you are in that position? Or are you relying and you're asking the long advice from long people? The Herodias' daughter, if she was mature enough, she would have not gone to inquire what she will ask. I believe this lady, if she would have said that I want to become a queen, the queen that day would have gone home and she would have been admitted to the house to become a queen. So I want to say, as I conclude, that we need to know we are given a life opportunity to become what we would want to become. But because sometimes we are not able to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit, I want to read one more verse, then I pray. This is what Apostle Paul saying to the church of Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 14. For it is light that makes everything visible. This is why it is said, wake up, O sleeper, rise from your dead, and Christ will shine on you. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. I believe this is very vital and very good advice, free advice from Apostle Paul is giving to us today. As the believers, the people who are living today, regardless of the belief, that we need to know that we must wake up from the sleep and make use of every opportunity that comes on our way. And we should not live like foolish people. And that's why we have just a great institution that will remove all our foolishness to become wise and clever, to do what it takes. Actually, this was repeated by our Savior Jesus Christ as he was addressing his disciples. He said that we must make use of every opportunity. And in chapter 7 of Mark, Gospel according to Mark, this is what Jesus said to his disciples as he was concluding verses 21. For from within out of men's hearts comes evil thoughts, sexual immorality, thefts, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceits, ordinance, envy, slander, arrogance, and foolishness. So foolishness is just a big sin, the sin of murderers. So it is the high time that we make use of this opportunity not to become foolish, but we become wise. I believe after this service, after this function, after this celebration, God is going to enable each one of us to become wise. Students, become wise. Don't be foolish. You are here for a while. The opportunity that you are given by the lecturers and your parents, it's an opportunity of only 4 years. After 4 years, the opportunity will be no more. And opportunity comes once in life. So you must make sure that you make use of every opportunity, because we are living in the evil days. Can we all stand up? I want us to pray. Then I am requested to rededicate this institution afresh again. And God is going to bless each one of us. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you and we honor you. Thank you for giving us an opportunity even to reflect on your word. Thank you for reminding us that you have given us another opportunity. Jesus, Son of the living God, we pray. God who created us, we pray that you give us the spirit of understanding and making use of every opportunity. Lord Jesus, I pray, let each one of us know what is your will in our life, in this opportunity you have given unto us, to become leaders, to become students, to become whoever we are. It is just an opportunity. Lord Jesus, I pray that you're going to make us to do what it takes. I pray for this institution through the able leadership of your servant, Professor Mogede. I pray that you will continue giving them wisdom. You lead them to do the right thing so that this institution and this university will become a blessing, a place of honor, the place where your name will be glorified. Lord Jesus, I pray, let everyone who is associated with this institution reflect your glory, reflect your honor, reflect your wisdom, so that Jehovah God, whatever will be done from today, as we focus to see another 74 years, Lord Jesus, the way you started this institution many years, 74 years ago, that you enabled this institution to grow from one glory to another. I pray that Jehovah God, you give your servant favor, that Jehovah God, even everybody from this republic who would desire to be associated with this institution, I now dedicate and bless this institution from every corner. I now dedicate it in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen, amen, amen. Amen. We can get our seat. Reverend, is there anything that you would want me to do? Thank you. I am now done. May God bless you. May God do you good. Remain favored and let us use opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop. Thank you. We now go to the next session, which is the cake cutting, the birthday cake, the 5th birthday. And as the arrangements are being made, I would like to read some comment by a spirited student here called Benedetta Wamboi. Benedetta Wamboi has posted very good comments. If you're on YouTube, you can check. She says, I am assured that this year we're still gonna retain our #1 and be the very best. She also says, I believe in winning and I'm in the best university. The position is ours every year. I think Benedetta, Dr. Mugo can be able to come for the present. If you are in the library or wherever you are, come to the reception and you will get your present today. Those of you who are still posting, please keep posting. I would like the students also, as we agreed, to get ready to come around and sing I Decided to Wear It as a way of contributing to the anniversary. So I imagine that 74 years from now, as the bishop said, those who will be watching this video on the YouTube of those days will be wondering why we are wearing masks. So I don't know who will be there to tell them. But probably they will get to the history books and they will know we are wearing masks because of a pandemic that has been ravaging our world. So now, here we are. The cake is set. Please give them, the ladies, a microphone so that they can guide us through the process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our MC, our Vice Chancellor, our guest today, our DVCs, members of top management, all guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Kindly look at the person seated next to you and tell them we have come to the joyous moment. So mwambie relax, na tension amalize, so that we are able now to culminate our celebration by sharing this very important meal that is a cake. Now, before we go to the cake cutting, I want us to think about the meaning of the word cake. And C surely stands for concern, because any person who prepares a cake must be concerned about the matter that required the cake to be put in place. A stands for agreeability, what in cake baking we'd call bonding. Because unless the ingredients in that cake agree, then it will not be a cake. The egg must agree to bond the flour together. The flour must agree to stay in its place. The margarine must agree to stay in its place, and together they form a meal that we are going to share today. K will stand for keenness, because the baker does not just bake at any temperature. The baker does not just bake the cake with any consistency. Ile unga ya cake lazima ikuwe na uzito kiasi fulani, so that iive na ikuwe jambo poa. And then the E stands for efficiency, that in everything the baker does, they must ensure that all the goals and objectives are met with minimal resources where possible, without compromising the quality of the cake. So our cake today, that its meaning, and because of the spirit of the function that is to celebrate our charter anniversary and to celebrate customer service, tunataka kusema neno cake leo ni customer achievement is always important everywhere. Customer achievement, keenly achieved everywhere. So now I'll request our Vice Chancellor, with all due respect, to come over. Our guest, our DVC, the chair of students, to come over so that they help us cut this cake. This, the party that is going to help us cut the cake is very significant, because if you're keen, there will be 5 in number. The student representative, kindly come, you're our customer. Okay, or any student, kindly come. A lady and a gentleman. I have a gentleman. Kindly, a lady, come over. So I want us to make a number of 5, but the number should be complete. So ukiwaangalia ni watano, and we are celebrating the 5th celebration, or the 5th anniversary. And because our Vice Chancellor, you are our vision carrier. In fact, for our guests, VC not only stands for Vice Chancellor, it stands for vision carrier. And we've heard the story that indeed you are the one that was leading us. I would request that you lead us in this ceremony. So I'll ask Margaret, kindly come and give the Vice Chancellor the knife. He will be holding the knife. The lady, kindly come on this side, Professor, the party balances. and then we are going to hold the knife together with the Vice Chancellor. Ndio tukate hiyo keki. We want to share this goodness that has gotten us to this place. So kindly, yes, I am. Thank you, VC, for reminding us about time. So let us cut the cake na tupate wimbo, ndio posa wanapokata we enjoy. So kindly, a song as they cut the cake. Okay, hold his hand, kindly. Wow, they are cutting, they are sharing. Okay. Thank you so much, VC and team. You've symbolically cut for us.
I think we can stand and also be together as participants.
Thank you. DJ, give us, let us take a break. So I'll ask Margaret to give like 4 pieces, create 4 pieces in a bigger plate. Use this bigger plate. Get 4 pieces. And what I want to request that our Vice Chancellor does is you just share this with our guests. And give each guest a saucer so that the VC can share this goodness with them. Symbolically, they are representing all of us. And then the student. Then Margaret, you're going to give the VC the bigger plate and give them, each one of them, a fork also. That's okay, that's enough. Make them a bit smaller. Kindly VC, share with each member a piece so that they share in this goodness of celebration. And after this, I'm told there will be some dancing so that we celebrate. Picha couples.
Haya ndio hiyo sasa. Muziki kwa mbali.
And the Vice Chancellor get his piece on the shoulder. You see, get your piece also, and kindly help the VC get his piece on his plate, moving forward. Aya, tunaweza kula sasa, tukiangalia sura. We want to see if your face are saying something. Wow, the bishop has started. Prof is happy, VC is supervising it, is assessing it, and I think he's happy. Kindly, Margaret and Anne, help me serve juice for glasses. Ndio waweze kumeza.
Profesa Sipraza, asante sana. Acha tuone sasa wale watu wanasikia ngoma ikiwa tamu.
Thank you so much. I please give the guests some juice so that they finish.
I like wamama hoye. Vijana mko wapi? Vijana, tuwapatie competition. Elijah, where are you bwana? Tupatie watu competition. Where is your team? Kujeni hapa mbele, hiyo team ya Eastparks na ya drama and film. I want you on the camera. Hey, Elijah bwana, usiniangushe. Weka timu yako hapa tuwapatie competition. Hey. Kujeni tuwape lecturers competition. Ashira pia tunakungoja. Haya, wanafunzi nao tuje hapa mbele ya tent hapa. Wanafunzi tuje pale mbele. Haya, ndio hao wanafunzi sasa. Wacha tuone sasa. Haya, wacha nione ile routine yenu sasa ndio kweli wajue. Oye. Hata nyinyi kujeni mkule keki. Ingieni hapa. Ingieni hapa na bag. Keki ni mingi. Yes. Hao wote wako kwa line wapatie keki wote. Wale wako kwa line no cake. Wale who are not on the line hakuna keki. And wale wako nyuma huko usiwapatie keki. Na mfungue mafundi pia hapa wana dance. Aya, twende sasa. Ya mgambo, ikilia kuna jambo. Ikilia kuna jambo. Jamani tuelezeni. Also remember, we are live on KTN. Yeah, we are live. Tuko live kwa news ya KTN saa 7. Kaini chini kidogo, VC yako kwa live on KTN. Kula keki. We are also bringing you water. Tutawaletea maji msinyongwe. Kaini chini kidogo as we finish that live broadcast on KTN. Kwa reception, I hope we can get the live broadcast.
ISO certificates within our custody, the quality management system, and also the information security management system. So everything that we do here, we take into consideration quality, and when we do things, we do them, we take a lot of serious, we do them very seriously. Maybe brief.
Professor, the customers celebrating this particular day, 5 years as an institution. What of Embu County as a whole? What are some of the ripple effects that the university has led to the growth of the county at large?
Indeed, because of coming, the university has, especially the town of Embu. When the students are not here, the town is like a sleeping town. But when the students are here, you can imagine 10,000 students that are.
Well, seem to be having a problem with the network there, but that is Mwege William telling us about the University of Embu as it is participating.
this celebration. Frida, you will guide the members of management and the deans and directors. Our guests.
You can judge for yourself. Do you think that this university is on a proper trajectory? Again, you don't have to lobby because it has already found itself there to be the best performing state corporation as young as it is. When you compare all the other universities that started with Embu and you come here, you can see where the government money has gone, isn't it? Look at an excellent library, look at this building, look at the surrounding. That is government money working.
The studying environment and facilities are very conducive. When you look around the setup of the university, it is in a very serene environment to facilitate credible and peaceful studies.
You can judge for yourself. Do you think that this university is on a proper trajectory? Again, you don't have to lobby because it has already found itself there to be the best performing state corporation as young as it is. When you compare all the other universities that started with Embu and you come here, you can see where the government money has gone, isn't it? Look at an excellent library, look at this building, look at the surrounding. That is government money working.
The studying environment and facilities are very conducive. When you look around the setup of the university, it is in a very serene environment to facilitate credible and peaceful studies.